Memphis Success, Episode 8 with Almetria Turner.
I wanted to live my life like it was golden, and I said, you know what, I need to shed the emotional weight as well as the physical weight.
Want to be successful in business? Listen to Memphis Success, the voice of Memphis entrepreneurs. Be prepared to be challenged and inspired to dream big and take immediate action now.
This episode is sponsored by One Call Telecom, a leading provider of business telephone and camera systems right here in the Mid-South. And as my business grew, we started to miss several phone calls from potential clients with our basic phone line service. But I had a friend refer me to One Call Telecom. They installed a complete phone system in my office, and now we don't miss any potential client calls. If you're having problems, call them now at 901-729-3333 and mention Memphis Success. Now let's get to the show. Memphis Go-Getters, welcome to Memphis Success, the voice of Memphis entrepreneurs, where your success is Memphis Success. Hello, I'm your host, Darnell Reed, and I interview local entrepreneurs right here in the Mid-South that share their story and to challenge you to chase your dreams. And today, I'm so thrilled to have Miss Almetria Turner on our show, and she has an amazing weight loss journey, but also she has created Fit and Finally Free. And Fit and Finally Free is a lifestyle and weight loss management consulting company and a blog dedicated to helping people achieve their goal. And Miss Turner has been everywhere, just sharing her amazing story. You may have seen her on the Today Show. You may have seen her on NBC, and I'm just so thrilled to have her today on Memphis Success. So with that being said, Ms. Turner, how are you doing today?
I'm doing excellent, Darnell. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm on top. Thank you very much for being on the show. I appreciate it. And also, I failed to mention, I met Ms. Turner at Black Men Run. I participate in Black Men Run, and I would always see you out there just supporting the organization and also just out there running, continuing to pursue your weight loss goals. So once again, that's where I first met her, and then I found out more about your story and just did a little research, and I was just so amazed just to hear about your journey, and then now this blog site and consulting services that you offer. So once again, thank you for being on our show. And I always like to kick off our show asking our guests, since you're a Memphian from Orange Mound bound, as you told me, you know, what is the first thing that normally comes to your mind when you think about Memphis and business?
When I think about Memphis, I think about Southern hospitality, barbecue music, a rich heritage with good down-home people.
All right, that's awesome. Yeah, those definitely are true qualities and things that I think about in our city as well. So I know I gave a brief introduction about you, but when you meet somebody that say at a networking event and they ask you, well, hey, what do you do? How do you normally respond to that?
And well, I tell people I'm an entrepreneur first. I'm a blogger and a lifestyle wellness coach, and I'm dedicated to helping people as well as families achieve their lifestyle and weight loss goals. Okay,
well, awesome. Well, look, every entrepreneur has an origin, a story, a beginning to their entrepreneurial background. Now, a lot of people, you know, before we get into the lifestyle website, blog that you have, if you can, just take us back. A lot of people may not know your original journey, the weight loss story that you have. Can you please just kind of share that with us?
Sure. Back in 2009, I was diagnosed with diabetes. I had hypertension previously for 13 years.
Oh.
And so my doctor told me more than likely if I get under 200 pounds that the diabetes, as far as the symptoms and the hypertension would reverse themselves pretty much. And so at first I was in denial for like a year. because no one wants to hear that they have chronic illnesses. I was 36 years old, and I felt as if I was just 80. I was in true denial, even though my grandmother had it and her mother had it. I just thought I was immortal. I didn't think that it could actually occur to me, and it wasn't until I went to the doctor that I found out. And so I just had to, all of a sudden wake up one day. I was like, you know what, I can do this or whatnot. I was 342 pounds, the heaviest I ever been. I'm a size 32, and I was just seriously depressed about it or whatnot. And so I was like, you know what, change your eating habits, become active, because I was leading a sedentary lifestyle pretty much. And I just decided to start walking. And I started doing a lot of research as far as, the different types of foods in which I needed to eat, as far as being diabetic, as well as, being hypertensive. And I just turned my life around.
Wow. That is an amazing journey. And I know from what I've read, you said you lost over 200.
It was 177 pounds. I went from a size 32 to a size 8.
Wow, that is amazing. I know we talk about business and entrepreneur on this show, but say that's just a success in your own life to be able to lose that much weight and just stay so dedicated. I guess what was a couple of things that really just, I know you mentioned the diabetes aspects of it, but what was that main thing that just kept you driving and staying focused on that?
Well, for one, like I said, I had been overweight my entire life, and I wanted to live longer. And I knew, as far as being diabetic, the consequences of having that disease, as far as blindness, having to go possibly through kidney dialysis or even amputations. And actually, that summer of 2010, if I'm not mistaken, I had to see 3 different specialists. I saw a cardiologist, an endocrinologist, and a pulmonary specialist. And here I am, 36, 37 years old, seeing all these specialists. And that was something that I didn't want to continue to do the rest of my life. Or whatnot. So that was another reason why I wanted to have the change as far as within my life. But I just knew there was more purpose in me. And I wanted to live my life like it was golden. And I said, you know what, I need to shed the emotional weight as well as the physical weight. So I just started on my journey. I was like, there's no looking back.
Hey, that's an amazing story right there. The emotional weight as well as the physical. I think a lot of times we think about the physical weight, but we forget about and think about the emotional weight of it. So with that, I mean, that's amazing. You shared the 172 pounds. That's amazing there. But now, what pushed you forward to become an entrepreneur?
Well, honestly, I've always been an entrepreneur. I started another business back in 2002. It's called Bocado. It's the French for beautiful gifts, and it's personal and corporate gifts where I serve the Memphis community as well as online. It's an online retail business where I do like Memphis type gifts and cookies and gift baskets or whatnot. But I've been doing the Freedom Award recipients gifts for the National Civil Rights Museum for the past 10 years.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's how I originally started my entrepreneurship. But as far as with Fit and Finally Free, I sat on this idea for the past year. Something had been tugging at my spirit as far as, you know what, you need to share your story because so many people out there are struggling with the same things in which you were going through. Or whatnot. And so at first I wasn't going to share because, losing weight is so personal. And I, held that close to my heart. And so it wasn't until, like I said, something in my spirit is like, you know what, go ahead and share your story. Someone needs to hear it. So it was October of 2013. I decided to, try to think of a name that I wanted to, put my blog as being. I was like, you know what, my goal was to be fit by 40. So that was my mantra. And I was like, you know what, now I'm fit and I'm finally free.
Wow.
And so that's how the name of my blog actually came about because I was finally free of the emotional, spiritual, mental, and physical weight that held me down. And so I worked on it for like 2 or 3 months, and I wanted to actually start the blog at the beginning of the year because it's when so many people have weight loss resolutions.
Right.
And whatnot. So I wanted to capture
every year.
every year, and they usually last for like a month, and then they fall off. But I wanted to get into that period of time where people were really focused on trying to lose weight after the holidays.
Well, that sounds very strategic, and from a marketing and a business standpoint. So, yeah, that definitely makes sense to do it at the beginning of a year when everybody's making these New Year's resolutions. So, no, that's definitely awesome.
Yeah, so like I said, from a business standpoint, my actually my background is public relations and advertising. So when I decided to do it in January, that was strategically planned where I try to capture as many people as I could.
Well, awesome. Well, now, as we talked earlier and we talked about, really just kind of sitting on those dreams and those ideas, but then finally pushing through because we start to think more about the people that we can impact and the lives that we can impact. And once we do that, we talk about doors being open. So one door I want to talk to you about is, you've been everywhere. I've read an article about you on the Huffington Post. You've been on the Today Show. Can you talk more about once, and I'm going there because a lot of people have ideas that they're holding on to. And when we talked, you talked about holding on to it, but now these doors are opening up. Can you just share some of that with us?
Sometimes we can be our own stumbling block.
Right.
And we sit on ideas, and then next thing you know, someone's actually doing what you said that you were going to do or whatnot. So I really, truly believe that when God gives you a plan, you need to act upon it, because if you don't act upon it, he's going to give it to somebody else.
Right.
So as far as with myself, I was so glad that I was able to have the grace of him sitting there getting myself together and having the nerve to do it. Because as I said before, my story to me was so personal that I really didn't want to share.
Right.
So once I actually started the blog, that's when, like I said, the floodgates opened. He was waiting upon me or whatnot. He's like, okay, she's doing what I told her to do. Therefore, the plan can actually go forth. And so once I started the blog, Kroger actually got on board because I also create my own healthy recipes from scratch. And so I was using some of their Simple Truth organic products and their Simple Truth brand. And so once I started hashtagging some of their products with my recipes, it's like, you know what, why don't you come on board and become a representative, of Kroger here as far as in Memphis.
Wow.
So that actually really started after I started my blog, only a month into it.
Only a month into it.
And after that, I got on to Black Women Losing Weight Online. And that's when all my social media platforms just, jumped as far as with numbers or whatnot, because social media is really where it's at.
Right.
Because so many people, like I said, don't have time. So the digital age is where people sit there and find their most news and stories or whatnot. So from Black Women Losing Weight, I end up being on the Today Show. Then from the Today Show, Yahoo Health ended up to being to Huffington Post, Red Book, Run Haven, Daily Mail in the UK.
I told y'all she's been everywhere.
and that's what's amazing to me, because when I started my blog, I really thought I was just going to help a couple of people here in Memphis.
Right.
I never knew that I was going to have a national platform where I'm actually interacting with people all around the world. When I say people all around the world, I have people from France, Zambia, Tanzania, New Zealand that's, asking me, it's like, what can you do to help me to lose weight? It's like, how can I balance my life between work, my kids, and me not putting myself second or last?
Right.
Because usually when we have so many different things that occurs in our lives, we sacrifice our health or whatnot. So we're not getting the proper amount of sleep. We're eating on the go. We're eating a lot of unhealthy things. We're stress eating. We emotionally eat. And so that's where I come into play, where I try to provide some type of balance where you can sit there and see where you're losing time and you're not managing time well, where you can actually schedule yourself into your daily agenda. When I consult with people, I tell them all the time, when you write out your action list for the day, you need to make sure that you're on there somewhere. You need to pencil yourself in, because you're just as important as anyone else or anything else on that list as far as things to do. So,
well, that is definitely awesome. And I just think back of what we said before. What if you just would have waited or just further just sat on it? You were delaying somebody else's breakthrough. And so for you to now push forward and get your blog going and getting your message out there, that you're helping somebody else. So that's just an amazing story right there. So with that being said, though, a lot of times as business owners get started, we're faced with a lot of challenges. And I know I've been through challenges starting my businesses. But tell me, what has been one of your biggest challenges or disappointments as an entrepreneur, and how were you able to overcome it and just bounce back from it?
As far as with my new business here, Fit and Finally Free, with you being exposed to so many people, you're going to have constructive criticism, and you're going to have criticism, and you're going to have, well-wishers
Right.
or whatnot. So I wouldn't necessarily call it a worst entrepreneur moment, but it's a teachable moment where you have to realize you're human and that you're open to criticism when you're out in, I guess, what you consider as a public figure now. Because I no longer can go back to having a private life. Because if you sit there and Google my name, I'm everywhere, like you said, or whatnot. So as far as just being an entrepreneur, I have to be very careful as far as...
Well, how have you adjusted to that? Because I guess you probably didn't go in thinking, oh, that's going to happen, and now I got to be more conscious of things that I'm doing or whatnot. How have you adjusted to that?
Well, you have to have a very thick skin.
Okay.
Or whatnot. And I've had to have one or whatnot. I'm not necessarily saying that I'm not human, that it doesn't hurt, or, I don't cry or whatnot, or I sometimes might slip or whatever, because when you are on a weight loss journey or whatnot, people tend to look at, well, what is she eating? Where is she going? Or what is she doing? So, when I tell people, it's like, you have to live a normal life.
Right.
I eat what everyone else eats, just in moderation. Or I prepare most of my food anyway, and rather than going out. So, like I said, I really haven't had any bad entrepreneur moments as far as with this blog so far. If anything, it's been very positive. People have been very positive as far as with it.
Okay.
And like I said, I think that people have been inspired by it, because I didn't realize how many lives I really was changing by just sharing my story.
Right. Well, that's awesome. So with that being said, and I mean, you've been on several shows, but I'd like to ask this question around what has been that big shift moment in your business. So if you can just take us to a moment in time when you had experienced or learned something new that really helped shift your business to another level.
Okay, well, I'm actually developing a lifestyle and wellness planner, and it's a planner that I've seen or haven't seen out on the market, where it pretty much puts your health as well as your day-to-day activities all together in one book or whatnot. So a lot of agendas have just your workflow, but I'm also actually adding your social as well as your health.
Okay.
So it'll provide as far as like grocery lists, map minding, where you can sit there and write out your goals, your aspirations, whether it be for business or even with your health. It provides different type of inspirational type of quotes as well as nutritional type of quotes.
Okay.
And so it's one of those things where it's just all encompassing, where it's not, like I said, just for work, but it's also with your health as well.
So is it a manual?
It's a planner. It's like
A plan-
a day planner.
okay, a daily plan-
It's
okay.
It's a day planner. And so, like I said, it's putting both your business as well as your health together all in one piece. And so I think that by me developing this particular product is really going to shift my business into greater heights, as well as even just the speaking engagements in which I've been getting, pretty much telling people, or teaching people rather, how to live a healthier life, how to be healthy, how to be healthy, and how to be whole. Because a lot of times we're filling voids with food,
Right.
or other type of strongholds, as which I call it.
Right. I know one of my problems from a food standpoint is just I just like to graze, meaning it's late at night. I'm not even hungry. I'm just going to get in the refrigerator, eat me some fruit or some snack or whatnot. But yeah, I can definitely see with that planner, having a little more regiment to your schedule will definitely be helpful to people. And then I guess a combination, like you were saying, of the healthy aspects of it, from the business aspects of it, and the inspirational quotes in it. I can definitely see that helpful for several people out there in the marketplace. So do you have a general timeline that you're looking at?
I'm trying to get it out by the end of September. I'm already taking pre-orders right now, so it's available on my website. So if you want to go ahead and place your order, you can, and I will email people and let them know when the first shipment is going out.
All right, awesome. And Memphis Go-Getters, when you go to memphissuccess.com, look for the show notes for Almetria Turner, and we will have her website and all of that information available so you can purchase her products that she is offering. Now, another word from our sponsor. If you're missing phone calls, you truly need a phone system. I recommend you calling One Call Telecom. Their number is 901-729-3333. Now back to the show. But with that being said, I know you mentioned the planner, but is there anything else that you're excited about today in your business, from speaking engagements to other products that you're developing today?
Well, I am very excited as far as me being able to, like I said, speak with different people, whether it's churches or nonprofits, companies or schools about, like I said, becoming healthier. Not only do I teach people as far as health, but I actually go into homes to do like pantry and refrigerator organization, or reorganization, where I take out all the bad stuff and we put in the good stuff.
You throw away the food?
No, I actually ask them. I ask them to donate it to food pantries and to churches or whatnot. So no, I do not believe in wasting food. But also teach people how to cook healthy. And just like I said, find time within their day where they can pencil themselves in. Because a lot of times we don't realize the issues or how we've gained the weight could be something from childhood. It could be your personal relationships right now. It could be, stress on the job. It's up to us when we actually talk that we pinpoint where the issue actually derived from. We get to the root of it. And then that's when we actually put together some type of action plan whether it's be a lifestyle change or even with you losing weight. So not only do I focus on like not losing weight, but also just like I said, lifestyle too.
Okay. Well, awesome. So with that being said, with a lot of times people like to lay out kind of a 3-year to 5-year goal for their business. So what is your long-term vision for what you're doing?
Well, I do want to write an autobiography as far as with my book. And as I told you before, I love cooking. I love creating my own recipes. So I want to also create a cookbook. As far as with different healthy recipes of soups, salads, sandwiches, different meals, side dishes. And like
I've seen you posting several recipes. So are those your recipes, or you kind of consolidating recipes?
These are my recipes.
Oh, wow.
I got measuring spoons, digital scales. And it's all coming from me.
All right, that's awesome. That's awesome. So guys, definitely visit her on Facebook so you can start receiving several of those recipes. Now, I'm not a cook, but I definitely will share it with my wife. So that is amazing. So I wanted to transition to what I call the lightning round of questions here. And just to dig a little deeper into your story and things that just inspire you. So was there anything holding you back from becoming an entrepreneur in the beginning?
Me.
You. Okay.
Me. My mindset. I had to not think of what I didn't have right then and there, but knowing it's like, if you never start, you'll never get started. So, if you stand in quicksand, you're going to continuously, sink. But if you constantly, try to get up and out of it, eventually you will. So you can't be stagnant upon your own growth. You have to move out of your own way.
Move out your own way.
Move out your own way.
So with that being said, what has been the best advice you have ever received?
Honestly, this might appear to be negative, but don't ever depend upon your friends and family.
No, I've heard that before.
Only because it will set you up as far as a major disappointment, because you think that they will be the first line of people that will support you. And sometimes they're not, because they know you.
Right.
They know. Not saying, that it's bad, but you're just Almetria.
Right.
As opposed to like Almetria with dreams, hopes, and aspirations, a person that's going somewhere. They might think it, and they actually might say something that they're proud of you, but don't expect them to be at every single thing or sit there and pat you on the back for every accomplishment in which you're going to have.
Yeah, I've heard someone say to me, friends and family are not your customers. Now, they may purchase your product, but they just trying to support you in some sense to get you started. But don't think you're going to run a business off of family and friends. You got to expand and really get some real customers. There are people that may not even know you, to get them to buy into the vision and what you have going forward. So,
and that's true, because once they sit there and they support you in the beginning, next thing they want the hookup. Right. So no, don't depend upon them.
So, what do you read, watch, or listen to that keeps you inspired and motivated?
Well, I read other bloggers as far as their posts. Of course, the Bible. I attend church. I listen to apps on my phone as far as New Direction or Mount Zion out of Nashville, Bishop Walker. That was actually, he was one of the people that I used to listen to when I would go walking on my weight loss journey.
Okay.
As far as every Sunday and every Tuesday, they would download his sermons on the app, and he was one of the pastors in which I would listen to.
Oh, okay. Okay. And with that being said, I guess, is there any certain online website, application, or tool that helps you be more productive? So just this question is around just productivity, or are there any apps that you use, maybe from your blogging website, or just anything from productivity to weight management applications that you would refer to somebody?
Well, as far as with myself, I advise people to use, say, my fitness journal, Pal or whatnot, just to check your calories, your carbs, or whatnot. If you're a runner or walker, there's a Nike app, there's Runkeeper, there's Map My Walk,
right,
or whatnot. I have a Garmin as far as the sports watch, but of course Nike makes their own watch too. So there's so many different apps in which you can utilize to help you stay abreast as far as what you think you're losing as opposed to what you're not. And like I said, keep track of your goals.
Okay. Well, awesome. Now, I know we briefly asked this question, but is there one book that you would recommend to our listeners?
One of my favorite books was Who Moved My Cheese.
I definitely read that. Who Moved My Cheese?
And so it's one of those things where I think as far as in this maze of life, you're going to come across different twists and turns, different type of positive and negative encounters. But it's up to you to decide once you hit that corner, how will you react to whatever it is that you're faced? And can you actually, come out of it alive? So it's all about a mindset. Right. Because we all have our own maze to achieve. It's just a matter of you determining how you're going to get out and the attitude that you're going to take as you come across those twists and turns. Okay.
Well, awesome. Well, yeah, that's definitely one of the, I think it's been a top New York Times bestseller, books for a long time. And I definitely have read it, and I highly recommend it as well. And Memphis Go-Getters, once again, if you go to memphissuccess.com, look for the show notes for Almetria Turner. We will have links to several of these items that you can go ahead and purchase yourself. Now, with that being said, do you have a favorite success quote that you live by?
Proverbs 16:18 says, "Your gifts will make room for you and will usher you into the presence of great men."
Yes, I have that on my board.
Yes, and so that's actually came true for me, because I never would have thought that I would have been on the Today Show,
right,
or whatnot. Like I said, it's seen by millions of viewers. And so it was so funny. I remember speaking. I was like, I wanted to go to New York this year. I've never been. And sure enough, I got a phone call. It's like, we want to see you in New York. And so my particular gift, as far as with writing, with this blog, and starting it made room for me. As far as my background in advertising, being persuasive, having people to listen. my way with words, it made room for me to meet some great people.
Well, hey, that is awesome. That is awesome there. So, with that being said, I always call this kind of my tougher questions. But if you had $100, and the $100 really represents time, but you had $100 to spend to become a successful entrepreneur, how would you invest this money? And there's 4 areas that you can invest this money into. 1 is leadership. 2 is hustle. 3 is education. And 4 is networking. So once again, the $100 represents time. And just to kind of give advice to up-and-coming entrepreneurs, where should they invest this money?
With me, out of those 4 areas, my first would be in hustle.
Okay, how much would you put there?
I'll actually put probably about $50 there.
Okay.
Only because if you don't have the desire, you won't see the need. And so if you have that true passion in you, I think those other 3 things will actually come about. Because as you hustling, not only are you hustling, you start becoming educated as far as within your particular field. Once you start becoming educated, you start networking with other people as far as seeing what they're doing. Or whatnot. And then once you start networking with other people, then that's when you find your mentor.
Okay.
And as far as getting that leadership.
Okay. Wow. So were you able to, as you started your blog and you started to hustle out there, and I guess just educating yourself, you were able to find a mentor that kind of helped support you along this journey?
Actually, I haven't found a mentor as of yet. If anything, I'm mentoring more people.
Okay.
Because weight loss is such a hard journey to achieve or whatnot. And sometimes, with me pouring out so much of myself, sometimes I need to be poured into as well.
Right.
And so I understand now, honestly, when pastors sit there and say they are tired once they leave church, because like I said, they give so much of themselves to other people or whatnot. So am I in the, am I looking for a mentor? I am. Because like I said, sometimes the encourager needs encouraging.
Right. Okay. Well, hey, just the last couple of questions I'd like to normally ask is, what does Memphis success mean to you?
Memphis success as far as my personal success or your business? Memphis success.
Memphis success really is, what does success in Memphis mean to you as a business owner, as you personally here living in Memphis? What do you see success being?
Getting across racial lines, getting across socioeconomic lines, getting past our, history or whatnot, as far as the city coming together, saying that we can actually live together, we can work together, we can play together. I think that's, success as far as bringing new businesses in town, getting our school system together where children are actually on a level playing field across the board. And just people, like I said, not living in poor living conditions where they can actually enjoy life while trying to think about where the next meal is going to come from, how are the lights going to, stay on, just being able to, like I say, live.
Right. Well, that's awesome. Memphis Go-Getters, Memphis Success Community. It has been an amazing interview with Miss Almetria Turner. So let me ask you this last question. Do you have any last words of advice, as well as can you tell our audience how they can learn more about you and your business?
Well, my blog is www.fitandfinallyfree.com. I'm found on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, as well as Facebook, as far as a business page. As far as with Memphis Success, I believe, and as far as just healthy living, I believe people can achieve their dreams if they want to live a healthier lifestyle. It's just a matter of changing your mindset and changing your location from the couch to actually moving on the pavement.
Right. That's awesome. Awesome. Once again, thank you very much for being on our show. You dropped a lot of great information, knowledge, and tips that I know will help inspire somebody else to get off their couch, get to moving. Also inspiring people to start their own blogs, to touch other people that they may not even know today. So Memphis Go-Getters, remember, go to memphissuccess.com. Look for our show notes. You will find Almetria Turner, and we will have all the information, several of the products and services and books that she mentioned. We will have links there. We'll also have links to her website and her Facebook page there, so you can find out more about what she is doing. So guys, also, remember to sign up, become a Memphis Go-Getter on memphissuccess.com. Get all the latest interviews, free information, free products and services that we have to offer you. And as always, Memphis Go-Getters, dream big, take action, and make money!
Thank you for listening to Memphis Success, the voice of Memphis entrepreneurs. Sign up now at memphissuccess.com to become a Memphis Go-Getter and receive all the latest information and free gifts. Because your success is Memphis Success.